Good morning, everyone. It's Mary Jo Snyder from MJ's Shady Anchors, and you are watching me live with my Sunday Live with MJ. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome. I have been scrambling trying to get some stuff around. I actually took part of the day off yesterday from crafting. Some days I just lose my mojo, and yeah, yesterday was one of them, so I'm kind of out of breath right now trying to catch myself. So I came up with some fun ideas using a Good Man stamp set. I actually just got this recently, and good morning, Veronica. Hi, Karen. Thanks for being here. I'm not sure who else jumped on, but good morning and thank you. My phone is a little bit higher than normal, and I don't know why I did that, but it's hard for me to see all my little messages. But my focus today is on dads, and I thought this was the perfect stamp set to do that. We're going to do some coloring with some blends. I've done some pre-stamping just so that my Memento ink would dry, so when I color with my blends I have no issues. I do find sometimes with certain colors with the blends, if I stamp in my Memento ink these outlined images, I find that if I quickly start coloring, that sometimes I don't let the ink dry the way it should before I start to use my blends. So, hi Gail, hi everyone. So I'm super excited. Like I was saying, I just got this recently. I've loved it since it came out in the catalog, but I had never purchased it. And since it's carrying over into the new catalog, hi Kelly, I thought that I would go ahead and focus on Father's Day and the dads and men in our lives. So that is what I am using today. I'm going to use each of these images. We're going to do some coloring, as I said, and we're going to use some of the sentiments in the set. I'm also using some stuff that's retiring, and that is the Color Families Designer Series papers that you can get in a 6x6 pack. I'm trying really diligently to use up some of my paper that's getting ready to retire, but they come in every single and some of them may have already gone. Maybe they're already off the shelf, so I apologize. But you can incorporate any designer series paper with these projects. So I also am using, which I haven't touched in a while, which is obviously a mess right now, but this is the Everything is Rosy medley, the product medley. It is still on the clearance rack, and it's just about half off. Its original price was $80. It's now $44. So it's on the clearance rack, and you can find it there. And with all this paper, you get tons of paper, rose gold, foil accents, and embellishments, as well as the foil paper. And you get a stamp set and dies that coordinate. The stamp set I can grab real quick, but I couldn't find the dies. But it's most of these floral images have dies that coordinate, but that is the stamp set, and it all comes together at $44. You can't beat it, and there's a ton of paper in that pack. So if that's something you want to get, you can certainly grab that from the clearance rack. But I thought, since I'm using Night of Navy, there is a lot of Night of Navy in that product suite, that product medley. So I thought I'd incorporate some of that paper before, I move on to all the new stuff too and can't get my hands on some of this stuff. And since it's still on the clearance rack, it's perfect to get you guys to get that discount, that reduced price on that amazing product medley. So here we go. So I've already done some stamping, and actually on this first card I actually colored it because I wanted kind of to save some time today. So I have a piece of Daffodil Delight design cardstock, which measures at 5.5 by 8.5, and you score down the middle at 4 1/4. I need to slow down, sorry. You have a piece of Night of Navy that measures 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of Whisper White that measures at 3 3/4 by 5. And of course the image that I've already cut out, I did the stitch shaped dies, which I absolutely love. They're one of my favorites. Any dies that have the stitching around, I absolutely love them. So I used the largest oval. I stamped this image, and that's the little boy on the shoulders of the dad. Did some coloring with blends. I used the light Daffodil Delight, the light Night of Navy, and I used 2 tones of both the light and dark of the Balmy Blue. The skin tone, I actually used ivory for, you know, obviously you got short sleeves on, you got a little tan going on, or whatever the case is. Some of my favorite colors to use for skin tones are bronze, ivory, and petal pink. So those are really good matches to different complexions. So you can always incorporate those. And I used the dark hair and the bronze on the child's face. Definitely you can customize these to fit the hair color and stuff for whoever you're gifting this card to, okay? So there's a lot of options with the inks that we have in our blends to create skin tones and hair color. So just so you understand, you can always find something that matches who you're trying to give it to. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. This is a really simple card. We are just going to grab our bone folder. Again, these were all the colors I used in this specific project right here. Always have your color lifter in case you color outside the lines or you need to lighten up to kind of blend out some of that color that you use. So you definitely want to always have a color lifter. And we are going to get started with this Night of Navy piece. And this actually, I'm going to show you the, I'm actually casing a card that I created for a display board for my last catalog launch to introduce the new in colors for last year, which are the Rococo Rose, Terracotta Tile, Pretty Peacock, and Seaside Spray, as well as the Purple Posy. So I did this card, and I'm kind of creating the same layout with this project. So we're going to go ahead. It's really simple after you get your image colored and all your pieces cut to just get this project put together. My tape is acting a little funny. I'm still using my snail. I know we have new tape coming, and I'm looking forward to it because I know one of them, a lot of people were fans of the Fast Fuse. I struggled with it, so I never really got into using the Fast Fuse, but it's very strong. It's not very forgiving, but there's kind of our new tape runners, and I can't think of the name of them, but those of you that have your catalog, you can look on the adhesives page. Hi, Bev. Hi, Mary. Thanks for being here. So the adhesives, I'm still using my snail because I have a ton left, and we can't get our hands on the new stuff yet. So, but anyway, there's going to be something similar to the snail we use now, something comparable to the Fast Fuse we used to have. So it's very exciting. And there's a couple other adhesive options in the new catalog as well. I cannot wait to have my catalog premiere event with all of you. My customers and my team members will get a special invitation to my online event. I don't mean to exclude anyone. Just be sure if you're interested in being a part of it that you private message me and I'll get you added to the private group. So with these, I'm not one to really do the dovetailing on my own, but I'm going to show you how to do that. You just cut a slip down the middle and then you bring these together and meet that point by cutting those edges. I usually cheat and use, wow, I did pretty good. I wonder if I'll do the other side that way. I usually cheat and use something that like a punch that has a point tip to it, because I'd rather not ruin what I got going on here. That's not too bad. That one's a little off, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to do the same with this piece of paper, this designer series paper that came from the Everything is Rosy product medley. And it's pretty awesome. If things are on the clearance rack, we can still use them because you guys can still get your hands on them. So that's very exciting for me to be able to use this medley for some of these projects, especially this amazing paper. Okay, now we are going to, I'm going to look at my sample. This one gets laid on first. It's really simple, this card. See that pretty rose gold in there with the Melon Mambo? Gorgeous. So you kind of have masculine and you have feminine stuff going on in that set. Depends on what you're using it for. And of course, I hate saying goodbye to all the gingham. There's a few things that have gingham in the new catalog. Some ribbons and stuff. But there's nothing like having every single color in Stampin' Up! Having gingham paper to coordinate. It's just really I don't know. I just love the gingham. Then I have a piece of this denim ribbon. So the pieces of Designer Series paper, this one is cut at 3 3 3/4 by a 1/2 inch. So it's a 1/2 inch wide and 3 3 3/4 tall. The Night of Navy designed paper is 4.5 by 1 inch width. And then of course I cut down 4.5 inches of the denim ribbon, and I'm going to lay that here. So just that Designer Series paper is going to be peeking out. And I'm kind of I was going to try and off center it, but I think I put the paper too high. So let's do this. So you're just creating these little layers. I probably should have stamped my sentiment already, so hopefully we're not going to have a boo-boo. Let me grab a sentiment that's going to work for this. You do a great job of being a great guy. You're the best. It's your day. Which one do I want to use? Let's go with, I think relax your way should go with this, definitely. I think I'm going to use being a good dad starts with being a good man. We're going to go with that. Now, mind you, if some of these sentiments, I mean, if you wanted to do a birthday card, you could do that. You could just grab sentiments from another stamp set that you have. But I'm trying to stay with this stamp set for these projects. So I know I'm going to place this right here. So is this going to fit? Do I want to do that? Maybe I don't even want to use this because it's too large. But this could pop up and be right there. I'm kind of going on a whim too, so let's put this down in the corner and hope for the best. We're going to stamp in Memento black ink. Make sure your stamp's inked up pretty well. And cross your fingers since you can't flip this over. Whew, that worked out. Sometimes that doesn't. That's why we don't adhere our papers before we stamp our images. We're going to grab our dimensionals for our dad and little boy, and we're going to go ahead and now granted that could be a little girl with shorter hair. It's all in how you color it, so keep that in mind. And that's going to go right there. And there you go. There's your first project. If you would like to incorporate other embellishments, you certainly can do that. Just move this a little bit over. You certainly can do that. You can add some rhinestones or whatnot to go with it. So there's your first card. And the next one, we are going to do some coloring. And I did already stamp the image, as I said. So we're going to do this little girl and her dad. And for this one, actually, this was the card that I was mimicking. This is one of the cards that I created on my display for the In Colors last year for my catalog premiere. So thank you everyone for being here. Hi Beth, hi Bonnie, hi Tammy, thank you. So that kind of mimicked that project there. All right, so we're gonna do some coloring. I'm gonna show you a little technique, not with these projects, but something I did, but then I decided that I wasn't gonna go that route for these because I just really wanted to keep it pretty simple so that you could recreate these without too much added need for additional colors. Like if you have blends and Memento ink and some paper and this stamp set, you can go to town. Hi Holly. You can go right to town with creating these simple projects just by layering and doing a little bit of coloring. So I didn't want to make you feel like you needed a lot of product to create these. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use, I got a couple new colors I'm going to incorporate. We got the dark crumb cake. I have the light mint macaron. I'm also going to use both the light and dark of Calypso Coral. And I'm going to use both the dark smoky slate and the light basic black. Okay. And I believe I think that's everything. And of course, the ones I'm going to use for skin tone, which are right here. So we're going to start out and we are going to color the dad's pants with the light crumb cake, dark crumb cake. Okay, so we're going to come in here and hopefully you can see good enough. And I want him to be wearing khakis. So we're going to just add some crumb cake. And I'm not doing any blending. Sometimes the images that you have here already have like additional black line, like depending on what color you're stamping in. This already has some spots here, like the creases in the pants and where the, you know, the relaxed fit of the pants he has on, already have these darker images. So I don't think there is a need for me to try and blend with such a small area. So again, I want to avoid coloring the child's foot because I'm only coloring the pants. And I may have actually used a different color on my sample. And see, I went outside the line, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. All right, come over here. Again, do not, you know, try to avoid the child's foot because you're going to color that in a different tone. All right, so you have that. Now, let's grab my color lifter. And we are going to, you can see I went slightly outside the line right there. I'm going to try and fix that a little bit. And actually what you do is just take your color lifter and blend it back towards the spot you colored. It's going to help that disappear once it dries. Then I can come back in where I kind of lightened it a little bit and just add some color back in there. Okay, so you have his pants, and then I went with the mint macaron, the light mint macaron for his shirt. Thought that was a nice color, and I wanted to stay within the same color family of his shirt and the color I'm going to use for the little girl's outfit. Now, of course, you have to be conscious of where you're coloring and what lines you're seeing and you're staying within. Like this is his sleeve. So you want to color that. This is his shirt under her leg. And over here is his shirt. And I think that's about it. So we have that. We're going to grab, oh, what was I thinking? So we want to use the ivory on Dad's skin tone. It's just my preference, but you can choose a different color. Actually, want to use the brush tip because it's a little bit darker than the other tip. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that when you're coloring. Theoretically, there honestly is about 4 different shades when you use blends, because this tip, I don't know if you call it a chisel tip or not, but that tip is less saturated than the brush end. So it kind of gives you a softer shade. So we use that, and now we're going to use the Calypso Coral, both light and dark, for the little girl, and I'm going to make her shirt dark, and I'm going to use the chisel tip because it's just fine areas, and I don't want to color in the wrong spot or bleed out. So, of course, you have some of her little skin showing in the back there, so where her shirt lifted up as she's reaching to hold her dad. So we have that. And we're going to take the lighter Calypso Coral and we're going to, hi Judy. Thank you everyone for being here. We're going to take the lighter Calypso Coral and we're going to color her pants. So this would be a great image to put overlooking like the ocean. And I'm going to show you something that I did with that, but I'm not doing that for this project. I was just playing around earlier trying to come up with ideas, and I decided to just keep it a little bit simple. All right, so the little girl, I'm going to give her a little bit darker skin tone and come in here with the bronze for her. And so if you can see where I'm going with this, my you'll see in a few minutes. And then I'm going to come in, I want to use the light basic black for the little girl's hair. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use the chisel tip because I still want those lines to show, and the chisel tip is still a little bit lighter than the other end. I need to come in because Dad's shirt peeks through right there, so I need to make sure that I'm dotting that section. If you dot in a small section like that, it's easier to get the color in there, okay, right there. And now I'm going to do Dad's hair. So Dad's got a little salt and pepper hair going on, right? So we're going to use the light or the dark smoky slate, and we're going to come in here with a chisel tip, and we are going to color his hair gray. And then we're going to grab our light basic black, and we're going to use the chisel tip, and we are going to come in here, and we are just going to add just some brush strokes. You don't want to color the whole thing. You just want to color in the way the hair would lay, just so you have some gray peeking through. We got some salt and pepper hair going on there. You see that? Okay. So we got those. I'm going to come in with the, I think I want to still use, let me get some, what do I want to use? I'm going to use my light soft suede and kind of color in what would be the sand, right? And I realize that's probably part of his shoe, but I'm actually making his feet buried in the sand, okay? Like so. So there you go. You have that. Awesome, right? Okay. So we used all those great colors. Now we're going to set these aside, and we're going to pull in our crumb cake base because we used that color on his pants, and that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to mat it with some mint macaron, which measures 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to come in with some, of course, I want to use some of that gingham, some other layers here, all from that designer series paper for the Subtles family pack, okay? Now, what I want to do, I think I'm going to do some stamping on a banner versus on any of these pieces. So I can go ahead and assemble, and how I want to assemble this, and I have to be very conscious what I'm doing here. I want to come in, and you see where I actually cut part of this? I want to line this up so it kind of flows evenly with these, and I'll show you closer. You see how that image kind of cuts off? It's almost like when you're wrapping gifts and you want the design of the gift wrap to be in the same position and have a nice flow. That's why I always like the gift wrap that has the grid on the back of it so you know where to cut it. So, hi Bonnie. So there is, that's what I'm trying to do here, is to make sure that flow is right. So I want to be sure when I'm taping these pieces together, grab my snail, and I just want this to line up under those points. And these two pieces are the same, well, the grid, this is the same width as this, or the length. So go ahead and adhere that together. Hopefully you got it lined up right. And you want to, let me just make sure it's straight. Yeah. So this piece that I started with is 2 inches by 3 7/8. So this piece is 3 7/8, and it's an inch tall in a sense. So it's 1 by 3 7/8. This piece is 2 by 4. So what I want to do, remember, I want to make sure these line up. So instead of adhering everything down to the card front first, we are going to come in here, and I'm going to find the best place for those to line up. And it doesn't matter if it is off, if it's not like centered, because this is cut differently. You see what I'm saying? You can come in here, but you want to make sure it's going to, where do I want to be? I'm going to be right here. So line those pieces up to match the designer series paper that so it's blended together nicely. Where are we going with this? It's kind of difficult to eyeball, but you can get it close enough, like so. Right, like that. And you see it looks like it's just bleeding into the different color. Sorry, I knocked my water over. Thank goodness there's a lid on it. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to adhere this piece with our snail to the card base. And I think I want, because there's going to be a little bit of a border, like 1/8 of an inch, I'm going to make sure that I have that same amount to the bottom of my card layer. So you got that little smidge of border right there. Okay? Now you can come in on your piece of crumb cake and you can add these layers. to your card base. I like these soft colors against that crumb cake. I love neutrals because they just go with everything, right? All right, so now I'm gonna put him here, but I wanna create a banner. Now, let's see. I'm gonna use this. You do a great job of being a great guy, okay? I'm gonna stamp this on a piece of, oh, let's see. Let's do some Whisper White. Let me grab a piece of Whisper White. I have a box of scraps underneath my table here. And we're gonna grab a block. Grab our Memento ink. I'm only using one ink color in addition to my blends. And we're gonna stamp that here like so. And let's grab our, since we're doing the whole stitch dies, so this is a stitched rectangle, let's find another stitched rectangle that we can cut out this sentiment with. So let's find one that's going to work really well, like that one. I think this one's too, yeah, that one's too small. Check this one out. That's too big. So we're going to go with this one. So your rectangle stitch dies, I'm actually using this one here that goes around that one. I'm just going to go cut this real quick, so we'll be right back. It's good to use your magnetic platform if you have the Big Shot when you're cutting something that you have to frame around a sentiment. Okay, I'll just be a moment. Bear with me. You can talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this. What's everyone doing today? You got any plans? Where are you in phasing back into stuff? Are you phasing back in where you live? I know a lot of you are in New York and are going through the same stuff that we are here at my home. But so I have a little trouble with this framelit. I'm not sure, this die, I'm not sure why. The paper ends up sticking into it, so it might be a little frayed. I think I need to run some foil through with my die. I think it got a lot of use during a class, and it needs somehow to be, I don't know, cleaned or something, but that's okay. All right, so I am going to, I think I want to, do I want to put that flush and pop this up? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to take too much away from the Designer Series paper up there. So I'm not really sure. Maybe I should bring it down here so that I'm not taking away from that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to put this image flush to the front of the card. Sorry. You guys have to entertain yourselves sometimes when I have to step away. I think it's great that you guys are here. You guys are wonderful. All right, so we're going to grab our dimensionals and we are going to add a few dimensionals to our sentiment and go ahead and peel those backings off, and we can just layer that. So we got a lot of rectangles going on, but I think it really is awesome. And then you can find some embellishments to go ahead and embellish that as well if you choose to, or maybe add a little bow somewhere. But I like it just the way it is. Sometimes less is more, right? Hi, Jen. Thanks for being here. So there's that card. And then we got one more card, and I kind of gave this a little patriotic flair. So I have Poppy Parade and some Whisper White. The Poppy Parade is cut at 4.5 by 11, and I'm going to score it at 5.5. Actually, it's 4 1/4. Excuse me, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. The Whisper White is 5 1/4 by 4, and of course the Designer Series paper is from that Everything is Rosy product medley. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? So I have this Designer Series paper that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to layer all those pieces together. But first, we're going to bring in our, if I can find it, did I lose it? I might have to stamp him. Bear with me. I'm going to find it. I did a lot of moving of things, so now I'm not sure where my pre-stamped image is. And I'll probably find it when I'm done doing all of this. Bear with me. All right, if I don't find it, I'm just going to stamp another one. I do have an extra circle here somewhere. This is what happens when you're not prepared. Okay, extra circle. All right, let me cut out another circle. That's just odd. Okay, let me cut out another circle from a piece of Whisper White. So I'm using the stitched shape dies for my circle. The largest circle. So I use the largest circle for my from my stitch shape dies. I'm going to grab the, oh, there it is. Boom, surprise. Okay, so we have this stamped image. Just a little crazy here today. So we're using the dad that's nice and relaxed here. Okay, so we are going to do some coloring, and I chose to use both the light and dark Poppy Parade, the light and dark Night of Navy, and the ivory. Have ivory and the light Daffodil Delight, I believe that is. Yes, okay. So the first thing we're going to want to do is I'm going to color his shirt. His shirt is Poppy Parade, and I am going to come in here and do some darker tones where the creases are. So you know how your shirt is kind of relaxed when you're relaxed. I'm going to come in here and just add some dark little pieces where those other marks are dark color, and then I'm just going to blend those out with my lighter Poppy Parade. Yes, Valerie, I have this amazing photo that I need to find it. We were at, we went camping near Darien Lake, which is here in New York, upstate New York. And there's a picture of my husband in his patriotic shorts, and he literally is in the chair, almost like this, had fallen asleep. It's kind of funny. I have that same picture. This would be perfect on a scrapbook page with it. Okay, so I've colored that with the Poppy Parade. I want to come in here and do some coloring with the navy. I don't want to get too crazy with the darker color because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. And I think I colored the poppy on the edge of those shorts. So you're going to come in here, add a little bit of, it's hard for me to figure out where the where the shorts are compared to where he is, where his skin is. That makes sense? And I just went out of the lines. So let me grab my color lifter. I don't want his knee to be blue, so let's get that color out of there. I love the color lifter, helping that disappear when you make mistakes like that. All right, and now we're going to come in with that ivory color because he's out in the sun getting a little tan. I don't know, there's so many amazing colors that you can use for skin tones. I'm going to peek at my comments. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Thanks, Judy. Yes, go to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be sharing a really cute project either today or tomorrow. Of course, I can't do lives because I don't have enough subscribers, so I have to literally create the video with my phone and then upload it. Yes, go to my YouTube channel. There's some fun stuff over there. And I actually do additional projects that I don't necessarily share on Facebook. So it's a great way for people to learn more techniques and stuff. Thank you, Judy, for the little plug on my YouTube channel. I also started an Instagram account too. You can find me, MJ Shady Inkers, on Instagram. So just trying to be sure I can reach more people that may not necessarily be on Facebook. So I'm actually coming in with the light Daffodil Delight for the chair. And there's only parts of it that you need to color. So obviously where he's resting his head in the back and his arms in the background, and this piece here, the rest is all the frame of the chair, okay? So obviously these little white marks here are part of the chair. Under here is the chair, but this frame is actually the frame of the chair. It's like an Adirondack chair. All right, and then I want to color his hat the light navy, and I'm going to come in with the chisel tip because I want it lighter than the other end. You can tell some of these blends I've hardly used because they're like in almost mint condition. Some of them need some serious help though. And right now, before June 3rd gets here, you can still purchase blends in single packs. When the new catalog comes out, you're able to purchase them in just a dual pack. More often than not, the colors end up fading in the same time. For me anyway. All right, so I want to put some crumb cake down here because he is in the sand. Come in with the crumb cake just to add a little bit of color there. And now we can go ahead and assemble this. All right, so we're gonna need, sorry for the noise, we're gonna need a sentiment, and of course we're gonna want Relax Your Way. And this is gonna be fun because I am going to actually put this on. I think this might fit into my classic label punch, which is one of my favorite punches. So let me grab a piece of Whisper White. I don't know, maybe I want to do something different. No, I'm going to grab Whisper White. Okay, scrap of Whisper White. And again, make sure that's on straight. And even though I'm going to punch this out. So you got Relax Your Way. Grab your classic label punch. And actually, if I really should stick with my stitched framelits, right? Because that's what I've been doing all along. But I think that I'm still going to grab that punch because I'm going to see if it works with this stamp. Let me grab it. I have a drawer that's full of punches, and it's really heavy. I need to come up with a different way to store my punches. Oh, it's perfect for that. Look at that, fits perfectly. So you just punch that out. And now we can assemble this card. I think I want to maybe grab some poppy ribbon. So I didn't score this ahead of time, but you can just fold it over and use your bone folder. And I think, let me grab some poppy ribbon that is about to retire as well. We have this textured weave ribbon. It's got the white edges. Why not use stuff if you have it, right? We're just going to cut a piece off. We're not going to do any tying. We're just going to use it to layer. So we'll add these two pieces together. Get some of this stuff out of the way. Hi, Celine. Yes, loving the poppy. Poppy color, poppy product suite, which I have to share some stuff with you guys too. Oh, I don't want to do that yet. Got ahead of myself. Looking at comments. So what I want to do, and let me grab my silicone mat so this doesn't stick to everything, because I just taped this before I was ready, because I got excited about the poppy. Okay, so put this down. I want to actually adhere this to the front first. So we're going to layer these two pieces together, and then you're going to come in with this poppy ribbon and just kind of wrap it around. And if you have too much excess, just go ahead and cut that piece off. Make sure it's lined up where you want it, because the navy has lines in it. You don't want to be all wonky. And then we're going to grab our card base. Silicone mat, awesome, awesome purchase. Nothing sticks to it. It's great for some awesome stuff you can do too with using Tombow glue. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that there. Again, make sure your ribbon's where you want it. Adhere this to the front of the card. we're going to grab Dad, and we're going to put him right there with some dimensionals. And then we'll put him, I think I want to put him in the center, like so. And I will put a little adhesive on that end, grab a mini dimensional, because that part's going to hang over. Whenever you have, if you're using a banner and you want it to be flush to what you've already put dimensionals on, just put a little of snail here and dimensionals on the side that hangs off so it's the same height. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we have relax your way. So we got all that goodness going on. Again, you can add a few embellishments if you'd like to. But there you go. Those are my cards for today, totally focused on Dad. I hope you enjoyed my video. I do want to share some exciting information. I neglected, for whatever reason, I'm a little frustrated with Facebook, and I'll tell you that in a second when I get back over there. There's some things I want to share with you. So back in, I can't remember what months it was. It may have been November through February, or a specific date through, it's when the mini catalog came out, the holiday, during Celebration, right? So it was July through part of February. So it was like 6 weeks, I want to say. The Peaceful Poppy Suite is in that mini catalog. And there was an incentive that if any demonstrator, it was an incentive for demonstrators to sell this stamp set. And of course, this was the stamp set, this product suite that I was so blessed to be able to feature and present on stage in November. So that was super exciting for me. Hi, Mike. So I actually had a class, a product-based class, because that was the incentive, try and have a product-based class so you can get people to purchase the stamp set. And if a demonstrator sold 4 stamp sets, they would be able to get this Comfort and Hope stamp set for free during pre-order time for us. So thank you to my customers that purchased this stamp set, the Peaceful Poppies, or the Painted Poppy stamp set from the Peaceful Poppy Suite, because I was able to get the Comfort and Hope stamp set for free. And I couldn't have done that without all of you. So thank you so much for being a part of making me achieve that goal. And I'm going to use this stamp set next Sunday in my Sunday Live with MJ. So look forward to that. I have some really exciting stuff to do with that stamp set. So, okay. So for all of you, again, I apologize for not having the Prize Patrol drawing done for today. Yeah. So there's a little, thanks for noticing that, Celine. This signature, this person was on stage, and she congratulated me after my presentation of this product suite. And she says, I helped design that set. I said, well, you're going to have to sign it for me. So I went and grabbed my stamp set and she signed it for me. So I thought that was pretty awesome. She was from the home office. So that was exciting. Thanks for pointing that out, Celine. Pays such good attention to detail. So, and thank you, Valerie. That's awesome. So where I was going with the information about my drawing, and I probably should show you my face so that I can say hello to all of you and kind of cover some of this detail. So if you don't mind taking a few more minutes of your morning, I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to cover the camera lens, and then we can say hello to each other. All right, just bear with me because it might get a little, I don't want to get you guys dizzy. And I need to flip. So hang on, I don't want to drop my phone either. I don't have my normal rubber band around it to hold it where I need it to. All right, so flip my camera. Hi. So as I was saying, the Prize Patrol from last week, I did that tropical for my card club, my Stamp and Scrap Club. We did the tropical designer series paper and some projects, and we used the Well Said and I think it's Well Said, the dies. So long story short, I had some designer series paper and some of the braided trim and some mint macaron, I think it's an 1/8 inch ribbon that I have packaged up for someone to win. So I was going through to type all of the names into the random name picker that I use. And Facebook on my phone, and I hope it's different on my PC or my laptop, but Facebook only shows the most relevant comments. I'm sorry, everybody's comment in my broadcast is relevant. So it's very frustrating for me that now I have to go onto the computer and go back through all the comments and find everybody's name because it's not showing me every comment on my phone. So I don't know what the deal is with that. So hopefully there's going to be a way for me to figure this out so that I don't have this issue, because usually I do this like right in the morning before I broadcast so that I can announce the winner. In case people like commented later, I want them all to have a chance. So I don't just pick the names from when, just that time frame that I was live. I want everybody to have a chance to watch the video and comment throughout the week until that following Sunday when I get ready to air again. So with that being said, I'm going to get on my computer later on today and I'll do that random name picker and I will share who the winner is from last week's Designer Series Paper and Ribbon Share. And then I'll announce that. I think I just said that. And as for next week, I'm gonna, whatever cards I make in my, or projects I make in my Sunday Live from MJ, or Sunday Live with MJ, featuring the Comfort and Hope stamp set. The winner, look at the glare from the window. The winner is going to get a set of the projects that I make next week because I want you guys to benefit from my earning that stamp set. So I will send the finished projects that I make to whoever wins next week. So for next week's drawing for the following week, if you know what I'm saying. I'm like, it's crazy. I'm all over the place. It's Sunday morning and I had a cup of coffee, but that's probably not enough for me. So anyway, I hope you all have a blessed week. I know there's some crazy stuff going on right now. So just pray that, you know, we get God's help with all the craziness going on right now because of stuff that I've seen out there in the news. I try not to watch the news too much. So, oh, thank you, Veronica. So yes, added prayer to all those, and ask for God to help us because we certainly need it right now. So with that, everybody have a blessed day. Know that I appreciate you being here with me and that I love you all, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye.